Hey everybody, Alex Kazora, SteelersDepot.com, back with some Pittsburgh Steelers news and analysis. Kind of promised this in my last video, so wanted to do this one for you guys today. Won't be anything fancy with a bunch of different video and clips and photos, but I wanted to release my final 2021 Pittsburgh Steelers 53-man roster prediction. If you want to read my full article on my Steelers roster prediction, there'll be a link in the description of this for the article over on Steelers Depot. Also, check out Steelers Depot for Dave Bryan's roster prediction, and we'll, of course, be covering who actually gets cut and kept by Tuesday's deadline at 4. Steelers roster already down to 71 with 9 cuts made on Saturday, and we'll see more by Tuesday at 4. But without further ado, here are my predictions for who will actually make the 53. At quarterback, pretty chalk here with Roethlisberger, Rudolph, and Haskins. I think it'll be in that order as well. Ben, of course, as the 1, Rudolph as the 2, Haskins as the number 3, and weekly inactive. Haskins, to me, needed a near perfect game to have a chance to supplant Rudolph as the number 2 against the Panthers, and Haskins obviously did not get that, and so I think he'll be the number 3 this season. Running back, already a tough decision here. I think this thing could go a couple different ways. If you made me choose, here's the 4 I'm keeping: Najee Harris, Anthony McFarland, Benny Snell, and Kalen Ballage. If you made me choose between those last 2, Snell and Ballage, I'm going to give the slight edge to Snell over Ballage from a what I think this team will do standpoint. I personally would keep Ballage over Snell, but Tomlin is a big Benny Snell football kind of a guy. And so I think with him getting healthy and having a decent showing, relatively speaking, in the finale against the Panthers, that's going to be enough to keep him on the roster. I think McFarland makes it as well. I guess you want to talk about some sort of surprise cut. It could be him, but I think kind of the speed and burst that he has that's different from the rest of the backfield probably has him making the roster as a second year guy. But yeah, I think Ballage has had a good camp. I think he's a better player overall, a better runner, and better running back overall than Benny Snell. But I think both will make it. And of course, at fullback, Derek Watt, pretty easy choice there. He's healthy. He's had a decent camp. I don't want him being thrown the football very often, but probably will happen 10 or so times this season. Wide receiver, pretty easy here. Here are the 5: JuJu, James Washington, Diontae Johnson, Chase Claypool, and Ray McCloud. Really no one pushing for that 6 receiver spot. There's definitely some talent, some practice squad options here. Guys like Matthew Sexton, although he was pretty terrible in the finale. Of course, Anthony Johnson, he's already been released. Cody White, Rico Bussey, etc. But no one that is really ever, to me, at any point in this process, truly threatened to make the 53. McCloud did not play well in the finale either, but he is your return guy. Kicks and punts, that's his job, not here to catch passes. There's plenty of other talent on this team to catch the football. At tight end, my 3 are Eric Ebron, Pat Freiermuth, and Zach Gentry. Still have Gentry over Kevin Rader. That's the only real discussion point here. Gentry's consistently played over Rader throughout the preseason. I personally would keep Rader over Gentry, but there's not even a guarantee the number 3 tight end is active on game days, which would kind of render Rader's special teams and blocking ability over Gentry moot. I think Gentry on paper obviously has better size and theoretically some more upside. Offensive tackle, going with these 4: Chukwuma, Okorafor, Zach Banner, Joe Haeg, and Dan Moore Jr. Pretty easy 4 to decide there. Right, Haeg, I suppose, isn't locked in, but I'd be pretty surprised if he was cut. There really is no compelling reason. The question is, who will be active on game day? Will it be Dan Moore Jr. or Joe Haeg? I'm giving the slight edge to Dan Moore right now. But those are your 4. And to me, the question is, will Okorafor stay as the left tackle all season, or could Dan Moore replace him by a month in? I think that's possible if Okorafor struggles. Interior offensive linemen, centers, and guards, keeping 5: Trey Turner, Kevin Dotson, Kendrick Green, J.C. Hassenauer, and B.J. Finney. Rashad Coward, the odd man out here. I think Coward just is not simply ready to go yet. I think he's got maybe more upside potential and better size than Finney and Hassenauer, but he's just not ready to play in an NFL game. I know he has played actually quite a bit in the NFL already with Chicago, but he has struggled mightily, and I think Finney's the better option at guard as next man up, and Hassenauer the better option at center when it comes to next man up. Defensive line here, starting with the defensive ends: Cam Heyward, Stephon Tuitt, Chris Wormley, and Isaiahh Loudermilk. Loudermilk, to me, has improved and definitely made strides throughout this preseason, getting stronger, adding some weight, I'm sure, working on his hand use, and has a good motor, and so I think he's earned that spot there. Nose tackle, it gets interesting here. I'm hedging my bets here. I'm keeping basically everyone: Tyson, Alualu, Isaiah Buggs, and Carlos Davis. So I'm keeping 7 defensive linemen in total, which, yes, is really on the heavy side for Pittsburgh. Generally speaking, they keep just 6, but I think with how much talent is here, D line is deeper than any other position on this roster. So it just warrants keeping Isaiah Buggs or Carlos Davis, both guys who I think did well this summer. And then Two with Stephon Tuitt's, situation. He hasn't practiced all camp. Will he be ready week one? Even if he is, will he be able to play 60 snaps? That's unlikely to happen from a conditioning, just preparedness, readiness kind of a standpoint. So keep all those guys. And of course, if Tuitt can't play, then you'll have some replacements there. So I think Bugs and Davis and Loudermilk have had good camps. Henry Mondeau is odd man out here, but keeping seven because they're deserving of it. Outside linebacker keeping four, TJ Watt, Alex Highsmith, Melvin Ingram, and Jameer Jones. Making a change here. I've had Cassius Marsh as a number four outside linebacker for this entire process, essentially, but I'm making the switch here. In my last prediction to Jameer Jones, he led the Steelers with 6 total special teams tackles in the preseason. That's more than double second place, which was Buddy Johnson with 3. He had a fantastic camp, one of the best camps of anyone on this 90-man roster. And, well, now I guess it's 80-71, but you get the point. But he's really kind of become that camp darling of someone who's flash in every respect: run game, pass rush power, special teams, consistency, availability, all those kinds of things. So I think if he hasn't done enough to make the 53, I don't really know what more he could have done. Inside linebackers fairly chalk: Devin Bush, Joe Schobert, Robert Spillane, Buddy Johnson, and Marcus Allen. Only question there is Marcus Allen suffering that hamstring injury to his right leg against the Panthers. Will there be some sort of IR situation there? I don't think, but you don't know. Hamstrings can be tricky. They can certainly linger, and so we'll have to see what happens there. But if he's healthy, he's been the up back on the punt team, had a decent camp overall, good tackler, probably more comfortable playing off ball linebacker than where he was last season, making that transition from strong safety, so he should make it. Cornerback, and I want to preface with a secondary in general. I'm pretty confident this team will add another DB in some form or fashion, a free safety, a slot type, someone who can do both. Ideally, I think they will bring somebody in, but I'm only projecting, and predicting guys who are currently on the roster. So my 5 are Joe Hayden, Cam Sutton, James Spear, Arthur Millette, and Justin Lane at corner. Antoine Brooks Jr. has been waived injured. He's on injured reserve right now, and none of the undrafted players have done enough to make the 53. Shakur Brown's name has already been announced as one of the cuts. I didn't think he had a real chance to make it anyway, so it was not a big surprise. Couldn't land on the practice squad. Lane has improved and done enough to make the 53. And at safety, Minka Fitzpatrick, Terrell Edmonds, Miles Killebrew, and Trey Norwood. I don't think Norwood is day one ready, but they like him, and rightfully so. He's got good instincts, good ball skills. I think he has made some improvements as an aggressor, as a tackler, coming down the fill and fit to run. But I don't think he's day one ready, which would probably, you know, explain and require the need and desire to bring in some extra DB help. And can't forget about specialists because there are some real battles there. Kicker is not one of them. Chris Boswell, he'll be the kicker this year. No questions there. At punter, I am giving the slight edge to Presley Harvin the third over Jordan Berry, and emphasis on slight edge. I know most people want to see Harvin. Most people expect to see Harvin. A lot of people don't believe this is a battle. I'm here to tell you it is absolutely a battle. This thing could go either way. I think I'm giving it Harvin 60% chance to make the 53, and so that means he has a 40% chance of not making it, which are pretty strong odds if you're a betting man. So I think both Barry and Harvin have been good this camp, and it could really go either way. Long snapper, a good decision, difficult decision here as well. I'm going Christian Kuntz over Cameron Canaday. Again, this thing's really close. I'm probably not the guy to really ask in terms of who I think has been better. I think both have done well. I thought Canaday's velocity's been a little bit better than Kuntz in some of the stuff that I've snapped in time, but Kuntz was available for that last game and snapped to Harvin the entire game and did well. Had a tackle and a half on special teams, and for whatever it's worth, like Kuntz and Harvin have worked together more this year, this camp in the summer. So maybe there's some little bit of continuity advantage there for having those guys stay the same when you're switching up your holder and your long snapper for Boss. And I'll list out my practice squad as well. 16-man practice squad this year, carrying over 2020 rules. I'll split things up, offense and defense. You can read some of the names on the screen. Jalen Samuels is kind of a scout team running back. He was my 16th man I added. Anthony Johnson, Cody White have had good camps overall. Kevin Rader, a good blocker. Coward goes to the practice squad, so that's the list there for the offense. Defensively, Henry Mondeau and Cassius Marsh, too. I think strong quality ads on the practice squad. Quincy Roche, the only rookie not to make it on the 53, but I think he showed enough pass rush potential to certainly be kept on the practice squad. Not super concerned about him getting claims. Is there a chance? Sure, but I don't think those odds are too high. Shakur Brown and Mark Gilbert at corner, and Donovan Steiner kind of impressed me as safety, as a kind of big hitting, tackling safety. So that is my roster prediction. We'll find out here very shortly, next couple, day or two. Monday, Tuesday, again, Tuesday being the deadline for the Steelers to make their next 18 cuts to get down to 53. And of course, they could have trades and trading forward, trading away, claiming guys. So the roster's never quite settled in necessarily, even after they make that initial cut down to 53 by Tuesday at 4. So Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll talk to you soon.